in terms of that. So I don't know if he should necessarily be punished. I don't think what he did was necessarily terribly wrong because when confronted about it, he surrendered.
Was it a actually, let me just look into this real quick before I make the point I was going to make.
Well, regardless, guns are illegal in New York City.
Mm-hmm. Plexico Burris found that.
Yeah. Well, Plexico Burris, like, they were willing to just slap him on the wrist with, accidental discharge of a firearm in a crowded place, which still would have been bad. But he took it across state lines and made it a fucking felony. That was his dumbass doing that caused that problem.
It's like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. Hang on.
Yeah. But I think should he have had the gun? No, he should know the local laws. Should he be punished by the team? Something small, probably. But I think in terms of the real issue, he didn't put up a fight, surrendered immediately, did the responsible, appropriate thing when confronted by the authorities. So I'm not saying he should be rewarded. I'm just saying he shouldn't be punished as harshly for something so trivial,
Right.
Was it a legally owned firearm?
The report I saw said yes, it's one that he's had for a while.
Okay.
But
then yeah, I don't think that's suspense worthy in that case. I think the first report I saw was that it wasn't, but if that's not the case, and I haven't really been tracking this,
we could have read conflicting reports, and the state of the media, we'd never know who was actually right until the real police report comes out. But the first thing that I had seen said it's a gun that he has had for a while. I guess he still has a home in South Carolina, or has a residence in South Carolina, and that's where he has the gun. But he also registered it in Long Island.
Oh.
I don't know. Confusing fucking article. I don't know what's going on with that. But
yeah, gun laws get tricky.
Yeah, gun laws in New York get tricky because, I don't know. If you're in Westchester County, right outside of New York City, you can have guns. They're legal. As soon as you enter fucking New York County in Manhattan, the gun is illegal.
Right. Unless you have a pistol permit and it's registered with New York City and you're open carrying, because there's no concealed carry, and getting all of that is impossible.
Yeah, you'd be an ex-military or a cop.
Yeah. Statement from his attorney was that Quentin Williams respects and follows the law. There was allegedly a technical issue with the manner in which the lawfully owned firearm was stored, and we expect the matter to be resolved shortly. So, okay, so yeah, the first report I heard was that it was, and this was probably just reactionary Jets fans freaking out, expecting the worst, saying that it was illegal gun or something, and all that. So I was expecting this to be worse, and again, I haven't really been following up on this, so that's on me. But yeah, if that's the case, then not even a slap on the league shouldn't do anything if that's the case.
No, you're right. Again, did he break the law? Yeah, it seems like he did. But again, also surrendered to police when confronted.
Right.
He didn't put up a fight. The cop's like, hey, there's an issue here. He's like, hey, you got me. So I am in favor of no punishment. But if the team wanted to suspend him for a half or something like that, I get it. Regardless. Just be smarter about shit especially when you're traveling. This isn't dumb Tim Lincecum, who isn't smart enough to have weed dealers in the other 29 cities in which he knows that he would be traveling to. Not even 29, because there's 2 teams in Los Angeles, 2 in Chicago. So in the other cities, just find a weed dealer there someone connected to, the stadium or whatever,
It's not that
you don't
hard.
need to bring weed with you. It's super fucking accessible.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can knock on 3 doors in this area and have like 3 different fucking drugs. And I live in a nice area. So.
Yeah, and the black market's got tons of stuff.
Just don't be stupid, is what I'm saying. Don't be stupid.
Especially when you make the money most people do.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Also, can you really not go a day without smoking weed? Like come on, Tim. Come on. Regardless, we got to get back on topic. Still sticking with the NFL. Guys, I didn't ask you to do this, but I'm going to put you on the spot now. Your favorite team, Bills, picking up Josh Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy. That defense is already good. Now they've got someone who thinks they're the best in the league.
No, yeah. In all seriousness, that was a good, 1 year signing for them. Definitely shores up the cornerbacks. Not that was much of an issue, but that's a defense that was already good and just got a little bit better.
I just happened to look on my phone, going back to the NBA real quick. I googled James Dolan age, and it comes up with his age. And then underneath it says people also search for. The next 3 are Charles Dolan, makes sense. Frank Ntilikina, makes sense, kinda. Harvey Weinstein.
Guess they're thinking Dolan's next with the Me Too stuff, and let's celebrate that Harvey just got put away for, I think, 23 years.
Sure.
So,
sure he did.
Fucking piece of shit, and good riddance.
You know what 23 years in celebrity time is, right?
No.
I don't know. He's old enough that hopefully he'll die before then.
No, it's going to be, he's going to be in a private prison like Martha. It's going to be 4 years, and then he's going to get probation for the rest of the time. I'm sure that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Unfortunately, dude deserves to fucking rot in prison. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll get suicided too. I mean, is it wrong for me to say that I wouldn't be mad if he goes the way of Epstein?
I mean, does he have dirt on as many powerful people as Epstein likely did?
Probably. He was like...
Because we don't think that the most obvious botched job in suiciding history wasn't an actual suicide.
I mean, I have a different theory on that. Again, we're not going to talk about it on this podcast. But I think, when you run Hollywood, you got a ton of fucking skeletons in your closet, and you are connected to the closets of a bunch of other powerful people. But, so Harvey Weinstein, James Dolan apparently are contemporaries, according to Google.
We can never doubt that.
Anyways, Dan O'Shea, Jets. Who do you want the Jets to draft? What's the biggest need you think can be filled by the draft, and who would fill it the best?
O-line.
So Jedrick Wills?
I like Wills. I was just actually reading into this a little bit, and the Jets have a pick in the one pick in the first, one pick in the second, 2 third-rounders, a 4th, a 5th, and 2 6th-rounders right now, and we might be getting more because there is talk of of other potential trades, like a sign and trade of Robbie Anderson if he's not re-signed. There's talk of bringing in free agents,
Byron
free
Jones.
agent linemen. There's talk of trading for someone like Trent.
Trent Williams.
Williams on the Redskins, which I'm iffy on. He doesn't really fit our timeline, but we have such a crappy O-line that I'm tempted. But I certainly wouldn't give the Redskins a first. We need a wide receiver, whether or not we retain Robbie Anderson. We need a cornerback. and we still need an edge rusher. Those are our pop. Excuse me. Excuse me. Those are our top priorities. But yeah, I'd love if Wills fell to us. I don't know, because there's a lot of O-line needy teams in this draft, and some of them are above us, and some of them are right behind and might trade up.
I mean, if they're a bad team, the smart thing to do, in my opinion, if you're not expecting to be competitive next year, is just tank, because next year is like the fucking offensive line draft from heaven. Mm-hmm. You got like the entire Iowa offensive line. You got like the entire Wisconsin offensive line. USC's got 2 people. UNLV's got a guy who's going to probably be a top 3 pick in next year's draft. So like offensive line draft next year, fucking killer. Like you're going to want one of those guys.
Very true. But given that we have Adam Gase, I'm not too worried about us being good. So I think, get some this season, get some next season. I like Becton from Louisville.
Yeah, he's
going to us.
He's good. You're going to get a corner, so don't worry about that.
We need the entire line. There's no area of our line where I'm satisfied with where they're at. There's a couple players that are serviceable, and there's players that are bad, and there's players that are worse than bad on our offensive line. There's no one that's good, and there's absolutely no one that's really good. So that needs to change in a hurry through FA, through the draft, and I'm confident that that's going to change because our GM Joe Douglas was an offensive lineman in college, so he knows that importance more than most.
Yeah, and like I said, you're going to get a corner. It seems like Byron Jones is almost guaranteed to go to the Jets at this point.
That would be lovely. That's who I wanted to get. We were chasing him and who else was it? There was the other FA cornerback.
Well, Eli Apple's going to be available. Oh, he played well in New Orleans.
Yeah, he played 1 year.
But
it was Bradbury, although he's good too.
You want Byron Jones, because imagine Marcus May, or when you lose Jamal Adams, if you have a good backup corner but you need help at safety, Byron Jones is an all-pro at corner, free safety, and strong safety. So he can step in and not miss a beat at any of those positions. So he's like one of the most versatile weapons in the NFL right now. And I'm pissed that the Cowboys are... I'd rather have him than Amari, honestly. I'd rather draft like Jalen Reagor and keep Byron Jones than Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
But Amari Cooper right now is more vital to the Cowboys' success than Byron Jones is. And Cowboys are still in the belief that they're going to be able to convince the Jets to trade them Jamal Adams. So, we'll see.
I'd really like to see this a little off topic.
It's just saying they're going to make him a Jet for life, so...
Well, we'll find out.
I want to see Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles in the XFL.
Blake Bortles in the XFL? Dude's going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, we're going to keep it going here. So, Dan, as far as the Jets, who else would you like to see?
It's obviously, it depends on who falls. I'm not super in love with the edge rushers I've seen outside of the top 3. Really the top 1, and we all know that's Chase Young. So,
yeah, as far as the draft, who would you like to see?